Hey guys, back in my normal recording spot again, and this time it's for my Max Payne review. Now, I'm a big fan of the game. I think it's one of the best games to come out in the past 10 years probably. And I think it has one of the few plots in a video game that can be accurately translated to a film version without much change. But the filmmaker named John Moore, the guy who directed this movie, decided to just shove that all out the window. You know, he says that he tried to please fans, but really, I think he just wanted to do whatever he wanted to do. Either that or the studios were just, bearing down on him to make it a PG-13, extremely watered down version of Max Payne, because that's what we get. Pretty much all you need to know about the plot is Max Payne is a detective, and his family was killed, and he's trying to find out, to catch and kill the people who killed his family. It's very, very, very basic. It's a lot more complex in the game, but in the movie, they just keep it very, very, very basic. It's like an hour and 40 minutes long, but it never gets very deep at all. It stays very, very surface level throughout the movie, and you never get into any of the characters. A whole bunch of plot devices are completely gone from the game. It's very boring, believe it or not. The amount of stuff that they decided to put from the game into the movie really should have only taken about 30 to 45 minutes of screen time. But for some reason it takes 100 minutes. Which makes the film seem very long and drawn out, even though it's really not that long of a movie. Mark Wahlberg he's pretty much the only good thing about this movie. I read a comment on my YouTube page saying that I'm not harsh enough on movies. Well, this is my being harsh on a movie time. I always want to try to separate the film version from the video game. But it has to bear some similarity to its source material. And this movie does, but like I said, it's so completely watered down and it's so completely simplified. And the fact that they made it PG-13, they completely jump around the fact that his baby was killed as well as his wife. They just focus on the wife being killed. But, you see the baby, you see the crib, but they never mention the baby being killed. You never see, like in the video game, you see just swaddling clothes in the shape of a baby laying on the ground. You don't see that, obviously, because that image would probably get the movie an R. Because it already has some pretty intense gunfights, even though there's almost no blood whatsoever. And it has one F-bomb in it. So, I don't know, just the PG-13 boundary is really, really getting annoying to me. Their studios are just pushing and pushing and pushing for PG-13 movies. Movies like Alien vs. Predator and Daredevil, they should have been R. I remember when they came out and they were PG-13, and the unrated director's cuts, the Daredevil R-rated director's cut is so much better than the original movie. It just sucks what studios do to try to get money. You try to make it to where more people can see the movie. Max Payne should have been R. It should have been more complex. And this is the big one. There is almost no voiceover in this movie. I know voiceover is used a lot, but in the game, it is one of the central, awesome, cool aspects. That and bullet time. Another overused thing in Hollywood. It's like the studios were pushing and pushing to get a PG-13, but they were like, you know what? Let's take those other two Hollywood cliches out. But they're used so well in the Max Payne game, and they work so perfectly. I don't know why they decided to just remove most of it. This movie could have benefited from being more streamlined, while at the same time having more depth. I think with 100 minutes of screen time, you could have added so much more without it being boring, make it much more fast-paced, and stayed more true to the game. Just have voiceover, have some blood, and some some real intense moments. The game had lots of intense moments, but the movie, it's just bland. So I'm giving it 1.5 stars. You know, rent it when it comes out on DVD if you haven't seen the game or played the game. If you've played the game, just don't watch it. It's pretty much just turned into a stereotypical cop drama without any of the violence or swearing. So it's pretty useless and boring.